Alrighty everyone, it is just about the year 2023. Before we head into the new year, we have a lot of upcoming Star Wars shows that John and Dave were involved in, as well as the controversy surrounding Kathleen Kennedy's shows like Skeleton Crew and the Acolyte TV series and more. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way guys, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support. It is greatly appreciated. Now, there's no denying the fact that a lot of fans out there have had a lot of issues with Kathleen Kennedy over the years. There's no, denying the fact here that Kathleen Kennedy oftentimes, always likes to give out this fake apology and telling the fans that she's sorry when she's really not, and it just gets old after a while, and a lot of fans are just tired of her. And that's why the Disney board members are really getting geared up to basically fire her by August of 2023, getting her out 2 whole months after Indiana Jones 5, The Dial of Destiny releases. Now the thing about this too is what's been going on between both Kennedy and Mark Hamill. We're going to be talking about everything of what recently went down and what happened behind closed doors for a specific Star Wars installment for Disney+. Now, one thing in particular is that a lot of fans have been pretty much, in open arms, right, for Luke coming back. They've been welcoming him back for multiple shows provided by Favreau and Filoni. However, Kennedy recently tried to pull a Hail Mary by doing something that may have been a very controversial piece in the Star Wars franchise, and it was all up to Mark Hamill to agree or disagree with all of that, and I think he made the right choice here, and I think he made the right call, and a lot of fans are probably going to respect this. So, with many new Star Wars projects in the works being worked on simultaneously, creators Favreau and Filoni have been developing something big for the future. Now, it's described that currently one of the latest developments of Skeleton Crew that Kathleen Kennedy is having an issue with is how actor Mark Hamill is having big problems with Kennedy and recently refused to return for a specific Star Wars project for the Skeleton Crew series. Kennedy was trying to get Hamill back to play a large role in the return of Luke Skywalker in the upcoming series that has had so many problems since day one. The insertion of Luke into the show is said to be Kennedy's Hail Mary for the series to drag in more than usual viewers on Disney+. However, Hamill is said to be completely aware of how this show completely insults George Lucas by retconning some elements of the original trilogy and even altering the philosophy of the Star Wars universe. Now, let me just pause here quick for a second. Now, it really comes off like Kathleen Kennedy has a one-track mind, and what I mean by a one-track mind is, it really seems like now she just believes that cameos are the answer. Let's just throw in a cameo, it'll fix my show, or it'll fix this show. A cameo is not going to fix a show. It's going to make fans love the moment, but it's not going to fix the show in spirit. It's just not going to work. So it's the wrong mindset, and obviously, Mark Hamill's aware of that, and he wanted nothing to do with that, of his character being shoehorned into a show that's been having a lot of problems. Skeleton Crew, by the way, you will notice that on TV and on the internet, Disney pulled the little snippet of footage of Jude Law with the hood over his head from Skeleton Crew off of their roster commercial, where it shows all the shows for 2023. They had it inserted one day, then they removed it another day. Other channels were using the included footage, other channels were using it without the footage. So there's a lot of things going on of how they don't want to market the show just yet because of how many reshoots and rewrites are taking place at the same exact time. Put this into perspective. They started filming in June, like June 2nd or June 3rd. They wanted to get done by the end of October. Alright, so that would basically give them like a June, July, August, September, pretty much a 5-month shoot. And that's perfect. That's lengthy enough for a show like Skeleton Crew. But here we are, it is basically the new year, and they're still dealing with the problems of this actual show. Now, moving on to the next big thing here is that another reason why Mark Hamill did not want to come back is that he does not want another Last Jedi situation with Luke, and Mark Hamill did everything he could to prevent that from happening. Now, like I say, does this necessarily mean that Luke will not appear in Skeleton Crew? That's still a big mystery, but Mark Hamill will not be involved in the development of Luke and how he's going to be used. So that's one thing to be aware of, and I think that Kathleen Kennedy is finally realizing that a lot of fans are just getting very tired of her and her problems with these, shows and or projects that go south. Now, on top of this, as of now, Hamill is not coming back as Luke for this one project alone, and wants nothing to do with Kennedy's Hail Mary. Now, whether or not, like I said before, this will mean that Luke will not arrive in the actual show is all up in the air. Now, Luke was set to appear to protect the children and to save Jude Law's character on the world of Pilio in the Skeleton Crew show. So far, this scene may not even be filmed due to the Hamill-Kennedy drama that is going on behind closed doors. So, I don't know if you guys know the world of Pilio, but it is an actual world that takes place in Battlefront. It's a video game. You do get to get a glimpse of it. Luke has gone there. And the Skeleton Crew series was going to bring us back there and showcasing Luke saving the children, saving Jude Law's character, and intervening with something very much of a situation for the crew, right? Now, we already know that this show is Stranger Things in space. That's what everyone's calling it on the set. They're basically comparing it to Stranger Things mixed with Star Wars. That's basically the overall structure of the show and how it's going to flow, and the overall, attempt at success, essentially. Kennedy is basically trying to rip off Stranger Things and creating her own version of a kid-oriented show that's going to be a little bit of a horror-driven show to an extent in some areas. So you can see what they're trying to do here. They're trying to do some of that, mimic some of the elements from Stranger Things. Not a carbon copy necessarily, but they're pulling a lot of elements from Stranger Things, if that makes sense. So the other thing that I do want to go over is that George Lucas was not happy about how Kennedy was pulling off this Hail Mary to get Mark Hamill back. In fact, believe it or not, it was John and Dave that convinced Hamill to not come back for Skeleton Crew to be used as this last-minute cameo or this last-minute saving grace of the show, right? And you can see, where John and Dave are right. They know what they're talking about. A cameo is not going to fix anything. That's the hard truth. It's not going to fix anything. The Book of Boba Fett, for example, highly criticized show. It's entertaining. I'm not saying it's bad, but it's a highly criticized show. And the return of Luke did not really save it at all. If anything, Luke coming back into the Book of Boba Fett show, when you think back to that scene of Luke, you hardly remember it's from the Book of Boba Fett. You kind of think it's from the Mandalorian instead. That's what I keep hearing, and that's what I myself think of as well. So overall, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you guys have to say about all of this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.